Hey Bulldogs, let's see what's going on this week in Code Blue news. Amy announces the Teacher of the Year, Marco talks about the school sports broadcast, and Gavin talks about his summer job. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Hey Bulldogs, I'm Madison Burnett, here with Chuck Larossi, and welcome back to Code Blue Now.
Now. The team spent last week in Long Beach, California, competing in the 2023 SCA Convention.
Hey Bulldogs, now that everyone's settled in, I'm excited to kick off episode 2.
Me too, Chuck.
Well, next week is HMHS's annual start with Hello Week. Monday is Just Say Hello Day. All students and staff will wear a name tag, use someone's name, and say hello to someone new.
Tuesday is Favorite T-Shirt Day. Wear your favorite t-shirt. If you see someone wearing a shirt that is interesting to you, you should ask them about it. On Wednesday, you should wear green. Support the Sandy Hook Promise and mental health awareness by wearing green.
Thursday is the International Day of Peace. Think about how you bring peace and make a positive impact in our community.
And finally, Friday is Blue and White Day. Show your school spirit and wear your blue and white.
Are you interested in joining chorus, but scheduling didn't allow for it? Or perhaps you just want to sing more? Join Miss Newman during Bulldog Block with Holbrook and Harmony, our premier performance chorus.
Go to room B118 for more information on how to sign up. Grades must be adequate in all classes to participate.
Hey, Jazz Band is also available, so if you'd like an opportunity to participate in HMHS's Jazz Band, practices begin on September 27th and will happen every Wednesday from 4:30 to 6.
For more information, join the Jazz Band's Google Classroom or see Miss Newman in room B118.
I'm so excited that the music is back, but let's get back to the show.
Let's take it over to Amy, who shows us your Teacher of the Year.
Just being a leader amongst the staff is someone that really did excellent lessons and also just going above and beyond.
HMHS has no shortage of hardworking, admirable teachers and staff, but one stands out from the rest.
She always made learning in her class very fun.
Very understanding. If something happens, she will obviously adjust the lesson, and I always will remember her class. It was full of laughs, but I also learned a lot.
And she seems to have a really great rapport with students and faculty.
Selfless sacrifice really gives back to her students, going above and beyond, being a model for the faculty. These are all terms used to describe the HMHS 2023 Teacher of the Year, Ms. Grant.
I found out that I won Teacher of the Year at the first staff meeting of the year. You know, it was actually my first day of my 10th year, so it was a really cool, it was a milestone day for me anyway, and to win that award at that first staff meeting after just not seeing everybody for a couple months was really cool.
Ms. Grant is not only the HMHS civics teacher, but she also coaches the girls' JV soccer team, advises the class of 2026 and the National Junior Honor Society, and she also took over the 7th Club.
I really enjoy working here because of the kids and the relationships that I've made, and you know, that's my favorite part of this job.
Teachers are an integral part of this school, the most important part, and the job that they do, and we just wanted to recognize excellence among them.
We here at Code Blue want to congratulate Ms. Grant on her achievement. This has been Amy Yip for Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Amy. I hope we can get some awards for the show this year, too.
Whatever your interests are, we have plenty of clubs that you can get involved in. Mock Trial will have an open interest meeting on Tuesday, September 19th from 2:20 to 2:50. The meeting is open to students in grades 10 through 12 who have any interest in law and the legal system. Please see Mr. Espy for more information.
Chess Club is also back. Miss F's classroom will be open on Wednesdays from 2:10 to 3 for Chess Club. Chess is open to all levels of experience, but there's also plenty of board games, so if you're just looking to hang out.
A lot of students love our extracurriculars, but over the past week, there's been a select few who decided to take a stab at student government. Let's see who your student council and class representatives are.
All right, let's take a look for the class of 2030 and 2029. Got a couple of sheets here. So, for the class of 2030, student council representatives Yusuf Bouidi, Mia Cartullo, and Brianna Stronach. And for the class 2029, student council representatives Michael Kasna, Maria Demora, Chelsea Gomes, Reagan Leahy, Hadley McClellan, Riley McClellan, and Adele Ramirez.
For the class of 2028 Student Council representatives, Carlos Cerdes Berselli, Addison Berzanani, Davy Delva, Ricky Ferry, Kaylin Knight, Giselle Pires, Eliza Rund, and Rolisha St. Jean.
And for the class of 2027 Student Council representatives, Keegan Burke, Nevaeh Carroll, Lucas DeCarli, Long Pham, Michael Skahar, Kong Tran. For the class of 2027 class officers, Secretary Michael David Adams, Treasurer Natalie Morales, Vice President Amanda Yanez, and President Salma Ziad.
Congratulations to everyone who's elected.
I prefer to be on the field, Madison, but I also love covering our sports teams. So let's take it over to Marco, who's here to show you how you can get involved in sports broadcasting.
I would like to thank Holbrook Community Access and Media for putting this on, this broadcast. Trey, you did a great job today in your first game. I'd also like to thank the students that were around either on cameras or helping out in general.
We're also focused on watching and playing sports. But have you ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes of sports broadcasting?
Sports broadcasting is when you broadcast sports, so if I can use that pretty loosely. Basically, we come together before the game and we set up a few cameras, keeping it as simple as that, and we shoot the games. But instead of just filming them, we shoot entire broadcasts, meaning we involve commentators, we involve graphics, we involve multiple different angles, we involve things like that, just like the things you see on cable today, like NBA, MLB, NFL, all the other sports, just condensed into high school sports here at Holbrook.
I think what really got me into sports broadcasting is I think eventually I started emotionally connecting towards the sport. I would primarily be sitting behind the scenes around the control room with Caroline Duggan, and we would just watch basketball, switch through, and watch all the players, and it made me feel emotionally connected towards that.
You can definitely learn more about sports from sports broadcasting if you've never participated in any sports before. And then, like I said, you can also learn more about the players. If you're interested in joining the world of sports broadcasting, you definitely should, because there's something for everyone. If that includes editing or filming or interviewing players, yeah.
To the sports lovers and people interested in sports broadcasting, please don't be afraid to reach out to Code Blue or Mr. Gorman in the TV studio down by the caf. This has been Marco Santini reporting for Code Blue Now.
That was amazing, Marco. Just as amazing as Chuck's football performance last Friday.
Thanks, Madison. That was a really strong start to our season. Well, speaking of sports, let's see how our sports teams are doing so far. Jordan?
Girls varsity volleyball faced two tough losses to begin the week, but bounced back and defeated South Shore Charter 3-1 on Thursday. Unfortunately, the boys varsity soccer team lost against Southeastern. The girls varsity soccer team also took on Southeastern on the same day and tied with them 1-1. They also play Norfolk Aggie today at 3. And finally, the boys varsity football team heads down to the coast to take on Hull at 6. That's all I have for sports this week. I'm Jordan Chaffee. Back to you at the desk.
Well, thanks, Jordan, for that score report, and good luck to all of our teams today.
With how sports is doing, I guess you could say the world is your oyster, huh, Chuck?
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Let's ask Gavin.
During the summer break, I had the opportunity to work on an oyster farm. But since I've only been doing this for a couple months, I'm gonna let my boss explain more what an oyster farmer does.
My name is Ryan Smith. I'm the owner of Signature Oyster Farm. We grow oysters in Katama Bay on Martha's Vineyard. An average day for us is about 8 to 12 hours in the water. Every day is a little bit different. Sometimes we're counting oysters, sometimes we're working on our seed. There are 3 different year classes that we have to take care of at the same time, so basically every day we're doing something different. The biggest challenge about oyster farming is you're working on the water and you have to deal with the harsh weather elements. In the summer it's hot, in the winter it's cold, and it's always windy. Some days it's raining, some days it's snowing. More or less you still have to go to work. We dump the oysters into a big hopper and they go up a conveyor belt and then they fall inside a cylinder that's spinning with different size holes in it. The small ones will fall through, the large ones will go out the end. So it's doing all the work for me. It'll do in an hour what would probably take me a day or 2 to do by hand. So we're much more efficient that way. We use a sorting machine to get them all the same size, and that way it's a lot easier to get an accurate volume count-wise. So the final end product is about 100 to 110 in a bag, and we more or less, after they run through the machine, we'll count out 100 and we'll make it into a scoop, and that scoop will be the same every single time. We put them inside the bag, we seal the end, we clip it, and then when you put it inside the cage, you have to make sure that the oysters are very leveled out. That way they have that room to grow, have a consistent, nice round shape. Owning my own company is great. I'm my own boss. I do my own hours. The harder you work, the more money you can make, or the less you want to work, the less money you can make. It's all up to you.
But owning your own oyster farm means you need to hire some hard workers.
Deliveries work. We receive the order, get up a cage. That's the first step. The second step, we throw the oysters in the tumble, make a wash, nice clean. Then we dump at the column board and we select the oysters 3 inches to 3 inches and a half, and I count 100 at the bag. When we get the bags done, 50 bags, 100 bags, depending how much they order for us, we take off the water. We have 1 hour to drive the boat, load the truck, and put it in the ice.
The next day, we are on the first ferry off to Boston, delivered to our wholesale dealer, and then they're shipped across the country.
Thank you to the Signature Oyster Farm team for an amazing summer. This has been Gav Moore reporting for Code Blue Now. Back to you in the studio.
What an interesting job. Thanks, Gavin.
Before we go, we'd like to remind the sophomore class of their class meeting today after school in Miss Grant's room.
We would also like to remind you that the junior class will be holding a fundraiser at the Chateau in Braintree next Thursday, September 21st. When you have dinner or call for takeout, ask to flag your check to help raise money for this year's prom.
That wraps up the show for this week. I'm Madison Burnett.
And I'm Chuck Luarossi. See you next Friday.